Thanks for joining.
5, 4, 3, 2.
All right, it's 7:30 on this Monday night. We are counting down to Halloween. That means it's time to find out if you guys like it or not. I'm producer Chris, and tonight we're talking about the sports equinox. Not sure if you're familiar. We're not talking about the autumnal equinox. You got a few more days before that happens. We're talking about trunk or treats, speaking of Halloween, grandma hobbies, and much more. So let's talk about how you can join the conversation, because I need to know what you guys think about the grandma hobbies. You see the graphic right there. We're streaming, so a lot of different ways to do it. If you're watching on YouTube, you can leave some comments in the chat. We'll check those coming up here in just a little bit. If you're watching on our website or Fox Local on your phone, basically if you're watching on a mobile device and you want to join the Zoom room, I have a link at the top of my Instagram, Fox 5 Producer Chris. That's also where I'm live behind the scenes on on TikTok right now. Also over on Instagram, on Fox 5's, we have a broadcast channel where we post topics, then read the comments on the air. Last but not least, if you want to join the Zoom room, you're watching on Fox Local on your connected TV, just grab your phone, scan that QR code, and you can get your hot takes ready. We'll check in with all my virtual co-hosts in just a second. First, though, we have to say hello to my in-studio one, always on time.
What's up, my man?
The one and only Guy Lambert,
How you doing?
Fox 5 Live Zone host. Thanks so much for joining us.
Yeah, but of course, let's have some fun.
Tomorrow is, I went back and looked. Our first show was August 28th. So tomorrow, October 28th, you were our first guest. You're here now on our almost the eve of our 3-month anniversary or whatever.
We'll make it a monthly thing. How about that?
Absolutely flies. It's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, congratulations. You're doing well with it, Chris.
Well,
It's just really cool. I enjoy watching it.
Very much. So you ready to dive right in?
Let's do it.
All right, we're talking about the sports equinox right here off the top tonight.
Okay.
Because that is the first and only time this year it's going to happen. If you just watch Guy and the Like It or Not team on Fox Local, you know it's because Game 3 of the World Series about to get underway over on Fox 5. Commanders fans are going to be locked into ESPN as the Burgundy and Gold take on Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. At the same time, though, 11 NBA games getting ready to tip off, and for all the hockey fans, the Blues, Penguins, Bruins, and Senators all playing right now or about to start. 32nd sports equinox on record. And like I said, the only one this year. Analysts say it's actually fueling a surge in sports betting, which, kind of up in the air whether that's a good thing or not. But Guy, I know which one you're going to be watching. But a sports equinox, shouldn't we arrange this so it's not a Monday night? Do you like this or not?
I kind of actually like this. I mean, Monday's the kickoff to the week. I mean, you have Sunday if you're a big football fan, you watch football, and then you're kind of like womp womp come Monday, and all you have is Monday Night Football. But now during the commercials, I'm going to flip to the World Series. When that a commercial happens there, I'm going to go check out an NBA game, and then I'm going to go right back to the Commanders. It's like, it's perfect.
A lot, yeah. I mean, definitely like right up my alley. And for all of you out there, I mean, we're talking about two-screen experiences here watching this show. You know there are people out there, Steve Chenevy, who have like multiple TVs set up for nights like this.
Yeah, it's awesome. And yet again, how many times has this happened? What did you say? This is the first time?
First
the
and
only
time this year. There has been one every year, I think, since like 2017 now.
Okay.
But that's partially, and I partially blame it on the fact that the baseball season is just going longer and Melissa, I see you shaking your head in there. The sports equinox, do you like it or not?
I do. So I have friends. One of my best friends, when we go out to bars to watch sports, we have to have multiple TVs. If we're like Sundays, we're watching all 3 games, football games. If there's a basketball game, if there's a soccer game going on, I'm all for this. My eyes are everywhere. I don't even suffer from anxiety, but I can turn and look this way and call a shot here and make a call over here and be like, no, there's a flag. And I'm all over the place. I'm all for it. I love it.
Yeah, this is like a red zone, but for multiple sports. You just change the channel, and at any given moment, somebody could be about to score. Chad, a new Commanders fan, but Laura is a Dodgers fan. So are you guys going back and forth during commercials, or are you going to have 2 screens set up?
Football is both our first love. So even though the Dodgers are in there, we will flip back and forth probably, but we're still going to be focused on the Commanders. And I'm probably going to bet on the Chiefs because any team that I bet on it'll lose. So I'm going to bet on the
Okay.
Chiefs.
So you're
I'm the
going-
worst sports gambler in the history, I think. I've won 0 times so far. So
the
yeah, I'm going to bet on the
reverse
Chiefs in hopes that
psychology.
the Commanders win.
I had an 8-leg parlay yesterday for touchdowns, and only
One.
one didn't hit.
I hate
Well,
that.
yeah,
And
I can't win. I can't win.
I know. It's all Carolina's fault. All Carolina's
Yeah.
fault. Cost me $2,000 on a $2 bet.
Oh man.
I will never learn my lesson, though. Never. All right.
Not bad for $2 though.
I know,
mean,
right?
sheesh.
I'll
I'll do that.
Have been incredible. Allison in the Lion Zoom room tonight. Allison, do you like the sports equinox?
I've never even heard of such sports equinox, but if it's got the sports people happy, congratulations, everybody. Enjoy it.
Yeah. David, how about you?
Yeah, I like it. I don't think I'm going to be able to multitask well enough to watch more than 1.5. You know, like I'll watch the World Series and flip back and forth to the Manning cast. You know,
Oh, yeah.
but yeah, I like it. I mean, it's if you like your sports, you got all of them to pick from.
All right, David, I want you to hang out for this next story because I'm going to call on you for it. We're talking about the Halloween countdown now. Lots of people heading out, dressing up,
Okay.
trick-or-treating this Friday night. Obviously, that's the big night. However, other people will be trunk-or-treating. I'm not sure if you're familiar with this, but this post went viral on Instagram, got a lot of, let's just say, backlash, but also a lot of support. Nothing captures the softening of American society like the rise of trunk or treats. The caption went on to say that back in the 90s, we would roam the neighborhood with our friends, plotting how to sweet talk the rich family into handing over a second king-size Snickers bar. Compare that to 2025, where you stand in a brightly lit school parking lot while dad in a quarter zip drops a fun pack size of Skittles in your plastic pumpkin from the back of a Toyota Highlander. So the comment section, like I said, was split. Some said they agreed that this is the softening, quote unquote. Others said trunk or treats are great for families in more rural or less walkable areas. So, Guy, this trunk or treat, do you like this?
Well,
or
I
not?
mean, it's exactly what you said. Not for me. I grew up in, the suburbs. And so, I mean, there were plenty of homes that we would go to. But it's the experience of it all. I mean, it's hanging out with your friends. It's walking up to each, let's say, patio door and knocking on the door, getting scared, knowing that house on the corner that throughout the entire year no one ever goes to because it's the creepy house. And then that night you go there. I mean, there's just so many things that you think about when you go trick-or-treating that, well, you don't really get that if you're doing it out of a trunk of a car.
Yeah, I mean, if it's in addition to, you know what I mean? So if it's like something you can go and do and like double up on the load of candy, I don't hate it. But I understand why some communities might want to have this. So David, I said I was going to call on you for this one. Trunk or treating, do you like this?
I haven't liked it so far. We've looked into going to a couple that they've had in our neighborhood last year and this year, but haven't followed through. And I mean, it might be good for really young kids, and walking them from car to car to do their trick or treating. Yeah, I mean, but when you get to like peak Halloween age, like 10 years old or something like that, you need to be running all through the neighborhood and getting as many houses as you can in one night.
That was about the age that I switched from like the plastic bag that had like the logo on it to a pillowcase. You know what I mean? Allison, I know you have a lot of grandchildren. Do any of them dress up, and do you take them trick or treating?
I have not taken the grandkids trick-or-treating yet, but I know there's so many different methods out here. Like when I grew up, they had Hallelujah Night. So it was safe. It was inside the church. And we would literally get more candy from church than we did out in the streets. But there's also, depending on how close your house is, if your house is far from your neighbors, I think it would be cool to have a whole bunch of cars to get together and, just walk up and have the kids, especially if you have a little one. They might not want to walk as much, or they might get a little impatient. So I think it's not a bad idea.
All right, we have a new face in the Lion Zoom room, it looks like. What's your name and where are you watching us from?
Hi, my name's Jaylene. I'm from North Carolina. My mom is actually Melissa, but I grew up watching Fox 5, and I was like, oh my gosh, I have to comment on this. I don't celebrate Halloween, but the idea of trunk or treat is really nice. I work in childcare, so it gives this is something we do at my center. It gives our kids an opportunity to like participate, especially when you think about kids who like don't have the opportunity to go out to neighborhoods or trick or treat, the school is able to provide that environment for them and activity for them for free, even if they don't dress up. You know, they enjoy it. They see all the parents. They have all the trunks to like decorate and see. So I like the idea.
All right. Well, thank you so much for logging in. And this is what I love about the show. And now, Melissa, brag on your kids a little bit.
I did. She grew up watching Fox 5 from, you know, the age of 1 up until 20, now 30 years old. So, but yeah, it's me personally. I because of what's going on in Virginia, where these kids are like knocking on people's doors and, you know, mortifying them, telling them to open the door, coming behind them, you know, behind the backyard and attempting to get in and things like that. I don't like the, you know, the knocking on the doors. This is an awesome idea for people who really don't get out or actually do things. This is a wonderful idea because much more can be presented at a trunk or at a trunk of a car than as opposed to a door. So
my neighborhood has like a block party.
Really?
So everybody in the neighborhood, I recently learned about this, just kind of goes to this one stretch and all the neighbors kind of just stand out there and you can give candy, you can get candy. So
okay.
It's a nice way of doing it. And speaking of Halloween, you're going to want to stay tuned to Friday, Good Day at 10 because Guy and I are going to make a little special appearance on the Halloween show, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I hope it's going to be a lot of fun. I've spent the last 10 years behind the scenes on that show. This is going to be the first time I ever get to see it from the other side. So make sure you guys wake up early if you don't usually, and tune in for that. In the meantime, let's talk about payday for a second. And before we do, I just kind of want to acknowledge that I know a lot of federal workers out there are obviously still waiting on those paychecks. But what we're talking about tonight is a new study that looks at how quickly we spend them once we do get them. In fact, the average American spends more than a third of their paycheck within the first 12 hours
I can see that.
of it arriving. That's especially true for millennials, who spend an average of 40% in the first few hours. 48 hours after that direct deposit hits, nearly 50% of it is usually gone for most people. Most of that early spending goes towards the essentials. More than half said it covers groceries, necessities. Others are using it to pay major bills like credit cards, housing payments, utilities. But that leaves just a little more than half of that paycheck for the rest of the pay cycle. And experts say that's why only 28% of people prioritize putting money into their savings account immediately. So guys, spending half your paycheck the day of, does it hit close to home?
Oh yeah,
and do
by
you like
far.
it or not?
But not only that, before I get to that, this shows why, yet again, our heart pours out to all of these federal workers who are not getting a paycheck. I mean, it shows how important that really is. And, you know, we all do well, but to a certain extent, you will then live paycheck to paycheck, and perhaps that's the case. So I'll say this, this paycheck, when we got paid last week, that's going to go towards my housing payment. The payment, when we get paid again in 2 weeks, that's when my car note is due, daggone it. So there it is for that. And I get it.
I used to joke with my other morning show friends about this all the time when that direct deposit hit, but it was close to that first of the month.
Yep.
You knew that we were going to be limping to the finish line. David, this spending a third of your paycheck in the first 12 hours. Do you like this or not?
Yikes. It depends on what it's spent on. You know, you said the essentials are what's first, and if we're talking rent, if we're talking bills, if all that stuff is paid, if that's what's paid in the first 12 hours, then we just got a situation there with the finances where you're struggling to make ends meet, or you're living a more glamorous life than you can afford. If you're spending stuff on, I don't know, clothes, movies, jewelry, things like this, then you have a values problem that you need to address with your own spending. But the conventional wisdom that I've always understood growing up is that you should, some say 3 months, some say 6 months, but you need to have between 3 and 6 months income saved up for emergencies, you know? And so if you're living where you spend out half your paycheck in the first 12 hours, like Alex will not be doing,
That's right.
hopefully if he manages his finances right, then you need to check out what's going on, whether you need to reduce how you're living your life or search for a better job.
Yeah. Christina, I am guilty in the past of those rare months when that third paycheck gets out.
Oh,
So
yeah.
the first one is rent, the second one is everything else, but that third one, ooh, that's the fun one.
Yeah, I think, and then a lot of us, like for example, for me and Eddie, a lot of our stuff is on auto pay. So a lot of times it's coming out because we scheduled it that way. So I think that's probably being considered in this case as well, because you know you have bills that's due on the first of the month. Most of them, a lot of them are due on the first of the month. So that happens. Yeah, it happens like that. So yeah, I mean, I can see how this is a thing for a lot of people, especially now with inflation the way it is. Everything's expensive.
Man, the auto pay is both the greatest and the worst thing, you know, because I really like it because it eliminates that need to kind of like, look, you know, there's so many of them sometimes, but on
It's
the
so
other
depressing.
hand, you've got to know exactly how much is in there and exactly how much is going to come out at any given moment. Let's talk about weddings now, because some tried and true wedding traditions are getting a 2025 upgrade, and we know there are certain ones that kind of ebb and flow. According to the New York Post, though, the old school guest book is getting a high-tech makeover, and when I say high-tech, I just mean an AV makeover.
Okay.
Let's call it that, because more and more couples are actually opting for video and audio guest books instead. And that's where attendees can pick up a retro-style phone or hop in a recording booth and spill their hearts out for the newlyweds. You either leave like a voicemail or a video message.
Wow.
So, Guy, recorded messages from your wedding guests.
Yeah,
Do you like that?
I absolutely love this. Look, there's nothing wrong. I was just at a wedding, and they had the little wedding book. I remember I wrote in it, blah, blah, blah. But this gives me, it's more tangible, I think. I think, 15, 20 years from now, I can look back. Obviously, all the wedding guests, myself included, we're going to look a lot different. And to see what that person had to say on that special day, but to hear their voice and or see their facial expressions, I think that's kind of cool. And it's a little bit different than just reading something that someone wrote.
Yeah, I can see that for sure. Melissa, how about you? I see you nodding your head.
I am all for this. Like Guy said, you can see this 20 years later. I may have make 2 copies though, in case the relationship doesn't work out. But see how people change, how people blossom. Some people may pass away, God forbid. People may have children, and to reflect back and be like, oh, he was at my wedding, or oh, maybe for my funeral they might play that and see everybody that was there, that could not make it, for some sort of reason. But yes, I'm all for this.
Okay, how about you, Christina?
Yeah, I agree with Melissa. I like it. I think it's a nice way because same thing like what she was mentioning. If someone passes away, you can still see them. Like one of my brothers passed away, and I never got the video. I wish we took the video. So I think this is great. I love it. Yeah, I think it's a lot better than those written guest books, and you probably might not even look back at those. You might not, you just put it in a closet somewhere. So yeah, I like this. It needs a high-tech makeover.
Allison, if it had been my wedding, though, I will just say this. I would have had to get people in the very beginning.
Oh, yeah.
Because by the end, it would have been a little
You're the
sloppy.
best!
Yes, exactly. Maybe it would have gotten a little teary. Maybe it would have gotten a little, I don't know. I can't say for sure.
Yeah, I think this is a great idea. I think about situations that I've missed with my own family, like not to put my age out there, but when my older children were little, we didn't have like camera phones and so forth. So my youngest son always asked, Mom, why do you always take videos of me every single day? And I say, because I couldn't do that, with the older kids. So the fact that we have that technology and we can keep those memories and later on go back and look, I think that's a beautiful thing.
I joke all the time that I'm glad my parents didn't have that sort of technology because just the sheer volume of embarrassing videos that would be out there of me as a result. But on the other hand, I do think it would be very special to have those memories to look back on. Well, you can keep commenting on all these stories, this story, and all the rest of them over in YouTube. We'll check that in just a second. Coming up next, though, we're talking about the modern dating wingman, and we're talking about grandma hobbies. Ooh. Both at the same time.
Like that.
We'll be right back.
3, 2.
All right, welcome back to Do You Like It or Not on this Monday night, here with Guy Lambert, Fox 5 Live Zone host, coming up in just about an hour and 10 minutes.
Yeah.
We're launching the primetime Live Zone here on Fox Local, so stay tuned for that too. In the meantime, let's talk about dating apps.
Okay.
I know a lot of people are over them, but they're introducing some new features, hopefully, I guess, to try to get people to kind of use them some more. And one of them is the AI wingman. The digital sidekicks can polish your profile, write messages, and even help match you with compatible partners. Companies like Grindr, Bumble, and Match say it could make dating more fun and efficient. Experts warn, though, that these virtual wingmen come with pitfalls because they could make people overly reliant on technology, losing real-life connection skills. Some going so far to call it the intimate authenticity crisis. We posted this one in our broadcast channel, and Joey started by saying there's a thought experiment called Rocco's Basilisk that says one day there will be an AI model that punishes anyone who didn't contribute to its creation. If this is true, the AI wingman could turn evil for some people. Joey, that is deep. Tanaya says not. It would seem like you're not ever meeting the real person.
I'm with her.
I agree with her on that one. All right, also not. Alex says not authentic and seems like Bob the Build-A-Bear. I can create my own person. It's weird and shows who actually capable of attracting people by your character personality. I agree with that too. There's something to be said about knowing how to sweet talk somebody. Lovely Shell says not because that's just like using AI to do your work or tasks for you without putting in the effort. And Freddie says, I'll say not. Maybe AI might make your messages sound smoother, but dating should be personal and genuine, not written by a robot.
Yeah,
Guy?
I wholeheartedly agree. I think my intro would be, maybe like, hey, what's up? Whereas AI might say, I need to sound like Joey from Friends, like, how you doing? So, but that's not really me. And then she would think that perhaps that really is. And so the whole time, that's not the truth.
You're misrepresenting who you might be. Freddie, you say you're not here for this.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
So, based on now that you read my comment, I'm glad you guys liked it. So what I was gonna say is with AI, I have to meet the right person for this. I can't, and I have to say it by my own voice, not AI's way. And how you doing, Guy Lambert? Good to see you.
Always good to see you, my man.
Melissa.
Let me tell you this. AI, I can't do that way with robotic voices, especially dating. So that's why I'm gonna prefer use my own voice on how I can explain myself and when I meet the real person.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Absolutely. But Melissa, so I go back to this point all the time. When I was on the apps, there were all of these just like prompts people would send out. And I feel like that's how people are going to use this. It means they're talking to too many people instead of trying to like narrow it down a little bit.
I am guilty of, I was on a lot of these platforms. I don't have a boyfriend. One of my students bought me this shirt, so I don't have a boyfriend, but she just wanted me to wear it.
Okay.
She said, I love New York, but it says, I love my boyfriend. I do not use prompts, and I didn't use prompts when I was on these dating websites. And I hate it when people would say the same thing. Hey, beautiful. Hey, queen. Good morning. Good afternoon. No. Get to the point, straight to the point, say what you need to say, and that's it. If there's not an attraction there by the way you typing and even by your picture, because most men on those dating sites, all they know how to take pictures is from here to here. And then you see them, they look like they're 9 months pregnant. And then you try to talk to somebody like me. No, absolutely not. I want to hear you, talk to me, be personable, don't lie, especially with your pictures. And maybe we can take it from there. But using all this AI stuff, no. Hell no.
Allison, do you agree? Is it a hell no?
It's definitely a hell no to me, because there's already enough falsification going on in the dating world as it is. We don't need anything computer generated to help anybody, be dishonest or help you confused or get connected into something that's not even connected towards you. You can't do that with AI. You can only do it with a human.
All right, let's go old school now and take things back to our grandma hobbies. That's what we teased before we had the break. While a lot of people are addicted to their phones and social media, some are turning to more old-fashioned hobbies. Like what? We're talking about knitting, puzzles, baking, Fans say these sort of activities invite us to slow down and be more present.
Wow.
Mental health experts suggest that those hands-on activities can keep us grounded and help shift us from perfection to the process. They can also apparently help with burnout. So, Guy, these grandma hobbies, do you like it or not?
Yeah, I mean, I just don't have the time. I'm as a kid, I played with Legos. I absolutely love Legos to this day, and I guess it kind of works the brain a little bit. If I had time, it would be Legos for me. But
That's
just
an
yet again,
expensive hobby now.
Yeah,
these
yeah,
days.
nowadays,
Those
you're right.
things are very expensive. Melissa's got her knitting out, it looks like. So I think it's safe to say you like this.
I am not a grandmother. However, my younger brothers have, children, and they're like my half grandchildren, nieces, nephews. I knit, I crochet. I absolutely love this. This helps me wind down. It helps me rethink about my day or the decisions that I've made or going to make. It really does help me calm down. I've made so many things. Like, this is
Wow.
and
Impressive.
anytime one of my students is pregnant, I make them quilts and things like that, and they keep them for years to come. And it's an absolutely beautiful thing. I say bring it back, because we're too stuck with technology. And in the event that something happens and we don't have electricity or what have you, what are you going to do? You're going to depend on some type of solar panel that you don't have?
I was going to say, David, as you're over there taking a bite, so I called on you immediately. My problem would be to learn this new skill like knitting or baking. I would need my phone or tablet
that's true.
to follow the instructions.
Until you learned it, right?
Until I learned it.
So maybe the first couple of times. But pretty wholesome activity, pretty good. Depends on your life. If you needed something to slow down, pretty good. Otherwise, you could turn into someone who's really, really boring.
Yeah, that's true too. Christina, what do you think? Grandma hobbies, do you like them or not?
I like them. I learned how to crochet from my great grandmother, and it's something that I learned to this day. I passed it down to my daughters, and like Melissa, I think it's a great skill just to kind of relax, and you make something at the end of it. And I make them just like I make little crochet Afghans for all my nieces and nephews whenever someone's pregnant. So I love this. I love it. I think it's cool.
All right, Chad, how about you? Do you got any grandpa hobbies out there?
Yeah, actually, my grandma taught me how to play rummy. So Laura and I played rummy. We write songs. We'll invent new games to play. And so we try to get off our phones, like specifically to get off our phones, to try to do something just together without us looking individually together.
Sitting next to each other.
Yeah, so I love grandma hobbies.
All right, Allison, you get the last say on it.
Yeah, my grandma hobbies are young and different. So I twerk every night. That's my hobby. Keep my body moving. Yes, and then I also like to do a lot of home improvement projects as well. Like if you go on my Instagram, you can see
The
me
concrete.
laying cement. I did that.
I
Did you
did.
see
I
it?
saw the sidewalk. Excellent job.
Thank you so much. But yeah, those are my type of hobbies. I like to learn how to do something like that's going to help my house out.
That's a great one to do. All right. Thank you, everyone in the Lion Zoom room, for joining us. Thank you, Guy Lambert,
no doubt,
for joining us once again. For Producer Jim, I'm Producer Chris. This is Do You Like It or Not? Fox 5 News at 8 with Tisha Lewis. Coming up next, we'll be back at 9 for the Live Zone Primetime. Have a good night.
See ya.